Hey, heathens. So, about a month ago, I did a video called Failed Prophecies. Yeah, most of the video was a setup for a joke, but still, the issue still rings true. What happens when there are failed prophecies? All these people who think they have the prophecy figured out, and when they're wrong. How many times have they been wrong? More recently, about 3 weeks ago, I did another one where I created my own prophecy. And then 2 weeks ago, I talked about, would you stop the Antichrist? How far do you go with these ideas of prophecy? I've got some people sending me private messages right now, and that seems to be the center of the whole thing. And I've had several people leaving comments on some of my videos talking about the prophecies in the Bible. And this lead up is taking us towards a video that I'm going to do here shortly. I'm trying to figure out what parts to cut out so that I can keep it, relatively short. But it's leading up to that. So here's one more time, and this is going to incorporate a couple of stories for you of other people that have put out other failed prophecies. Starting with, this is just kind of the history of the prophecies that I remember in my life. I remember the world was supposed to end, back in the 80s. I remember one time the church I was going to was trying to convince us that it was coming that year. It was supposed to happen again, 91, 92-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. Again, 1999, again in 2000, again in 2001. Those multiple groups. And then more recently, I got a private message from one of my subscribers. This is Jasonvoorheesbutcher. You can check out the channel there. Yeah, there. One of the two. Anyhow, you can check out his channel. Obviously, a horror fan. I am too. But anyway, he's telling me about this friend of his, and let's just call him JL. Okay, because I don't want to use his name. This is a buddy of mine, JL, has predicted that on June the 6th, 2006, the world was going to end. Now, they all took this pretty serious because June, the 6th month, the 6th day of 2006, so 666, obviously why they thought that was going to be the day, despite all the problems with that date. I won't even go into it, but anyway, they decided that it meant something. So much so that his mother had his sister delay the birth of her child. Okay, his mother convinced his sister to delay the birth of his sister's child until the next day at 12:30 a.m. just to make sure that the birthday was on June the 7th, not the 6th. Yeah, because you don't want your child born on 666. Okay, whatever. He said that he found it to be arrogant and rude. I mean, come on, your child is your child. Don't be a fucktard and have the most special day of your life delayed because of a goddamn date. I would have to agree with him on that. I mean, what kind of possible medical situation could you be, exposing your child to by delaying the birth? Now, I don't know all the circumstances. Perhaps it was one of those where they could choose to say, all right, we're going to induce labor. What day do you want to do it? And she picked that day versus the other in case the child didn't try and come on his own. I'm sure it wasn't one of those things. I doubt seriously any doctor would absolutely forbid the birth of a child just because of the date. I'm pretty sure about that. But regardless, to go through that much effort. But more importantly, what would it have accomplished? Now, I don't know what their personal view on it is, but if the child isn't born, does that mean it goes automatically to heaven? Since it wasn't born, does that mean it just kind of poofs away? And there's implications there either way. If the child would go to heaven even though it wasn't born, then that means all the little fetuses are going to heaven as fetuses. Who wants to be in heaven for the rest of eternity as a fetus? But lots of problems with that. But we'll skip those for now. One more story I'll share with you. This one happened with my stepdaughter. She had a friend at school who went to church, and there was someone speaking in tongues there, and apparently someone translated. This is a new concept to me. I didn't know you could translate the tongues that people gave. I thought it was supposed to be between you and God, and that was it. But anyway, apparently you can translate it, and this old woman translated it and said that the girl had been speaking and said that the world was going to end that Sunday, and this was on like a Thursday. So my daughter comes home telling me this. Of course, she thinks her friend is crazy. And I said, well, why don't you go to your friend and tell her? Then I guess you won't see her at school on Monday, will you? Anyhow, Monday comes, obviously, and nothing happened. And when asked, the friend just basically said, no, they told us that nobody knows. Never mind that they were wrong. Never mind that they've been repeatedly wrong. Keep in mind that in the Bible, Jesus tells his followers that he's going to come back in their lifetime. Paul reiterates this, explained to them that there's you should be celibate because there's no reason to bring any children into the world because Jesus is coming back. And so we're all going to heaven. Then they realized that nobody was having babies and there was a small problem developing, so they had to convince people that it's okay, you can do it. We don't really know. And generation after generation after generation after generation for the last 2,000 years has been convinced that Jesus was coming back in their lifetime. And every single one of them is wrong. And yet here you people are thinking that you're still right. So I have these people sending me these private messages telling me all about, how this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Oh no, they're going to put the chip in our arm and that's the mark of the beast. I've been hearing that for a while now, and the idiocy of that just astounds me. But, again, I'm not going to go into the details of all that. Just the fact of the matter is, you keep being wrong. And then I sit and wait as I prepare to unblock a blocked person who, constantly spamming my channel, so I blocked him. But he agreed that after he told me that George Bush was going to declare martial law, put off the election, and refuse to give up the presidency of the United States this November, I told him, so when November passes and this doesn't happen, you'll admit that you're full of crap. And he said he would. So I'm looking forward to that, and we're almost to September. We're only a few months away. I really want to see what this guy has to say after he is forced to face the facts that he has no clue what he's talking about, and he was dead freaking wrong. So all you people out there spouting your prophecies of 2012 and all the rest of it, I don't want to hear your prophecy. I really don't. Come see me the day after your prophecy fails, and let's talk about it. Okay? Just don't take my word for it. Think for yourself.